Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Today we are going to be reviewing the Challenger Gaming keyboard and mouse from Thermaltake, so let's get straight to it.
So it's not often that we get good bargains that come through the door. Actually, it is quite often, but it's not very often that we get an extremely good bargain that comes through the door. And this one is from Thermaltake, as you've already discovered by the intro. It is a Challenger Gaming keyboard and mouse combo. This retails currently, it's on offer on eBuy, and I'll put links to places like Amazon and things like that. It's currently under £20 for a keyboard and mouse set, and it's RGB as well. We'll go into some of the details on that in just a moment. So let's unbox the keyboard and mouse and see what the quality is like. You'll have to excuse me, unfortunately our current setup is the table is far too low. We're going to sort that out hopefully soon so that it's actually kind of this height, which means that you can see what's on the table as well as our ugly mugs. Anyway, back to the product in hand. As you can see here, you get the warranty policy that's standard. You get a little multi-language quick start installation guide or quick installation guide. If you can't plug a USB into a computer, then maybe we should do a video on how to plug a USB cable in. Keyboard and mouse. So let's start with the mouse. Now we've reviewed a keyboard and mouse set from Thermaltake before, a combo set. The blue one, go and check that out up there. The keyboard was actually alright on that video, so hopefully they've improved on their low-end sort of budget range mouses. We didn't rate the mouse very well on that one, unfortunately. But first impressions on this one, it looks a lot better made. And I'll do some B-roll shots so you can see that close up as well. The quality is much improved, I would say. It's heavier. It's a lot heavier in weight. I don't know the exact weight of the mouse, but I'm sure we can put that up on screen if we can find that out. It has a rubberized wheel for that, whereas before it was a sort of a hard plastic, which is, I find, quite difficult to grip as well. But this one is actually nice to touch. The actual design of the mouse is very similar to the cheaper mouse that we looked at before, but with the exclusion of the side sort of support bit on the left hand side there. They've shrunk that down, and as you can see, the form factor of that is sort of a normal sized mouse. The more important thing is actually the weight of the mouse. It doesn't actually feel like it's a mega cheap mouse. And this is a mega cheap mouse, but it really doesn't feel like that. It really doesn't. The cable is braided. It's probably about 1 meter cable, so you may need to take that into consideration if you're plugging it in and it's quite far away. The end of the cable obviously is USB, and they've still got the long kind of weird designed fitting on there. I would have liked to have seen a much smaller one. Again, the issue we had with the previous one is that when you plug two of these in together side by side on certain towers, they will kind of push each other apart just slightly, and I'll show some close-ups of what that actually looks like. But it's not a major thing. It will still work. It'll just be a little bit tight, that's all. But actually, overall impressions of the mouse, button clicks seem really nice. As I said before, the wheel is really nice and smooth and rubberized, so that you actually get good grip on that if you're playing RPG games or any type of games that you play. The click on it is you have to push quite hard on that. Well, no, it's not too hard actually. It's not too bad. So you get two buttons on the side, as you do with most mice, forward and back if you're browsing, or you can configure those in-game. So that's the mouse. Oh, obviously you get, before we move on to the keyboard, the grips on the sides. They're not rubber, so they're not going to wear away. They are gripped. So I don't know how this is going to be on long-term use, but only time will tell. But from first impressions anyway, it doesn't seem like it's going to be that bad. Actually, they've got grid lines on there for better grip, but again, it is hard rubber, so it will last longer, and unlike some mice, you will find the soft rubber will end up wearing away over a period of time. So you won't get that problem with this one. You also get the TT Esports logo that lights up on the back of the mouse. So as we move on to the keyboard, this is the first time I've seen this keyboard, so you're seeing it the same time I'm seeing it for the first time. So my comments on this are going to be completely brand new and not sort of conceived in any way. So first impressions of it for the price, actually it is quite a solid keyboard. It's not mega light, it's actually quite strong. I mean, there's no flex in that, hardly at all. I'm having to put quite a lot of force on that. It is a membrane keyboard. It's not, for the price I wouldn't expect, Cherry MXs or anything like that for this sort of price point. But yeah, it looks quite good at the moment. I'll show some close-up shots of that as well. So you get it looks like a 2 meter cable, maybe 2.5 meter cable on there. The cable on the keyboard is not braided, weirdly. It's just these it's very soft and not rigid at all. So you should be able to bend that round, cable tie that how you want on your desk. Again, it's got the end there, same as the mouse. So the keys, you can tell they're membrane keys, and I wouldn't really expect anything less on that. We'll do a typing sound test as well in a moment. This is an RGB keyboard. Again, I'll show some shots of that with the RGB lit up. You don't need software for this. It's all controlled by the keyboard. You've got your usual F keys at the top there, as you do on any other keyboard. It doesn't feel that bad, really, actually. There's no sort of separate palm rest. It has this kind of built-in sort of half height, if you will, palm rest on the front, which actually is quite good. It really depends on what type of typist you are as to how noisy you type. If you're a heavy typer, then obviously, hopefully the mic can pick that up a little bit. It's a gaming keyboard, or for games, primarily for games, not an office keyboard, so noise really doesn't matter too much, to be honest with you. So overall, it actually feels really nice to type on. As you just saw there from the shots, typing it again is quite loud. Even I'm not a heavy typer, but it still seems quite loud. And there's not a lot of, before you feel like you do with mechanical switches, you feel when you get that click on, depending on your switch type, that you've made a connection with the actual switch itself. On this one, it's a membrane keyboard, so it's exactly like a membrane keyboard, but there's not too much travel. I don't know the actual distance of the travel of the keys, but for this price point, it's not really something you're going to be looking at, how far the key travels before it actually actuates. So it's not a major issue. It's a good, solid quality keyboard. So as you can see on the bottom of the keyboard here, we've got the feet. This is single position feet. So you only get one sort of height adjustment for that, whereas some you get two you can adjust. You get rubber on the front of either corner there, and a sort of cable tidy area around here if you want to route where the actual cable comes out into the center or the left or the right of the keyboard, which is also quite nice to see. On the front, it kind of does look like at some point they thought about putting a separate palm rest on it, because there are 4 sort of holes where you would expect to sort of slot on sort of a longer palm rest, but there's nothing in the box, so I can only assume that's for a different model of keyboard. Maybe they use the same chassis for a different model of keyboard, maybe the next tier up. But it does look like you may be able to put something on there, but that's something we can check out, and we'll put down the bottom there if that is a thing that you can purchase if you want to extend that. Yeah. Quickly moving back to the mouse, the top button that I showed you is also, according to the box, it says it's a DPI switch, but when I plugged this in earlier to test the mouse out, we did obviously take it out the box before we did this video. The top button marked on the box, and I'll show you that in some screenshots as well, marked D, says DPI switch, but when we actually plugged it in, and what I thought was probably a DPI switch, actually changed the RGB on the mouse. It changed colours on the mouse, but it didn't seem to affect the DPI switch. So unless there's some software that is actually needed to make that function work, we'll double check that, and again we'll put that down the bottom if that is the case or not. So that's something to bear in mind. For us, it changed the RGB, but according to the box, it will change the DPI between 800, 1200, 1600 and 2400 DPI. So that brings us to the end of the video, and overall this is a solid gaming keyboard and not bad gaming mouse. Actually, it's a really good gaming mouse for the price. For £20 for a gaming keyboard with RGB and a mouse, up to 400 DPI, a solid keyboard with actually good keys, good travel on the keys. You can't really ask more for £20 for the budget gamer. So if you're looking for a budget gaming keyboard and mouse, this is probably the one for you. Anyway guys, thank you for watching another one of our videos. We hope to be releasing a lot more videos very soon. If you like what we do, don't forget to subscribe and like this video if you like this video. And stick around and follow us on our social media platforms, which are also listed down in the video description. If you want to support us in any way, the links are also down in the description, and you can support us via Patreon, and you can buy merch from our merch store as well. So go check those out. Thanks for watching guys, we'll see you in the next one. Stop copying me, you! What are you doing? Why are you doing this to me?
I couldn't stop laughing.
I know. You're a cheeky monkey. Are you copying me?
I copying me?
Are you copying me? Are you copying me?
I copying
You copying me?
Yeah.
Alright then.
Alright then.
Bye.